Hello YouTube, Liverpool fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man Sai. So yes, the Reds have done it. We're on the road to Wembley. So yes, after a 1-1 draw and a 2-3 aggregate win over Fulham on the road to Wembley, but first and foremost, let's give credit to Fulham. They're not used to being in semi-finals. Marco Silva built it up. The Fulham fans, flags in the crowds, they're waving, they're cheering, they G'd up the team the whole way. Fulham really tried to respond. They gave everything they got. At times, it was a bit tetchy for them. They're out of possession. Liverpool dominated the possession, with obviously having that higher caliber of play, tactics, formation, and setup. Fulham lined up as I expected. They really pulled the strikers out wide to isolate on the sides, in between the fullback and centre-backs, and put the dual number 10s in and around McAllister as well. Conor Bradley had to deal with Willian and Anthony Robinson dashing at him. The guile of Willian, the pace and the ferocity and the driving effect of Robinson as well. That is a particularly young side that they targeted, Jarrell Quansah and Conor Bradley, but they did admirably. Similarly, on the other side, experienced head Gomez and Van Dijk, and that is an absolute war there, and dealt with everything that they could throw at them. Saying that though, I think Diop did come across Van Dijk slightly for the opening goal for them. 1-1. Obviously in the second half we had to withstand a barrage as well, but hey, we had our chances. And speaking of a chance for a romance, with Valentine's Day just around the corner in Japan in February, special Kit Kats. Look at these cute bears. Oh, actually, I tell you what, Valentine's Day is for the guys. The guys get chocolate gifts from all the girls and the missus, and yeah, they have a day in return, White Day, which is the month after Valentine's Day. So yep, enjoy your Valentine's Day, lads, in Japan. Cute. For you and me is a Kit Kat. So let's get into the review of the games, the ratings of the players and the tactics on players as well. So as I mentioned, very young right side here. Quansah, Bradley, Elliott and Kelleher. In fact, we ended the game with Jones, Elliott and Bobby Clark. What a young midfield to end a semi-final with. That shows the quality of the youngsters in the Liverpool squad. They're not just fillers, they have an active role to play in and around 11 to contribute to the team, and Klopp relies on them to see the game home. If that doesn't tell you the kind of faith that Klopp, Pep Linders and the team have in the youngsters, then nothing will. They are not fillers, they're actually viable squad members who come on to make an impact, make a difference. Very impressive. And speaking of impressive, Bradley, so he's cemented that right back slot in and behind Trent, obviously in lieu of Gomez being on the left hand side. You can't fault him. Defensively solid, did his job, a proper right back performance. He didn't contribute to the attacking game so much, but then again he was against Willian, who operated in and around this area here, and an on-rushing Anthony Robinson, very difficult. And when Raul Jimenez went to that side as well, the physical test was quite telling as well. Additionally, Gakpo and Elliott aren't the most versed at helping relieve the pressure as well. Now, Elliott does press from the front. He is very good at pressing from the front, but as a reliever and as a cover for Bradley, he isn't ideal. It's not like a Jordan Henderson back in the day, a Milner, Gerrard, for example. And Gakpo similarly trying to find his way into the game, dropping deeper and deeper, reducing the kind of space and congesting the area. Bradley had limited scope to go forward. He did okay. He did get chopped inside by Harry Wilson for their goal as well. So overall, without being too harsh, I think a 7 is fair. Defensively solid, not outstanding, didn't contribute too much offensively, but had an overall decent game. Now Quansah, he got the assist for the goal over to Lucho Diaz. We'll get to Diaz in a bit as well, but he was pretty good. So he covers pretty well, he's defensively aware, he's alert to danger, he clears his lines, he's composed, he's solid. Once again, I think he's a very hot prospect, and for people who wanted defensive coverage at the back, hello, Quansah's here, he's arrived, Klopp knew about him, he's in, he did well. Would be tempted to give him an 8 for an assist, but overall, I think 7 is on the balance of things okay. So the backline didn't have too much to do, but on occasions when Fulham sprung, they were solid. And similarly, Van Dijk didn't have too much to do, so I'm going to give him a 7 for now. He was defensively solid, he cleared a lot in the air. Now, to get an 8, you have to have something about you in this particular game, a moment that you can call, okay, that was dominant, or you snuffed out the danger, or you cleared your lines, or that was a goal-saving tackle, or the awareness to read the running behind, etc. And this team was more solid than anything. Gomez was also solid at left back. Predominantly, he's made this position his own in absence of Robertson and Tsimikas as well. Very versatile. There's an argument to say, is Gomez more effective as a fullback than a centre back? Because I'm going to show you some clips in a short or maybe in a dedicated video later when Gomez appears in this kind of area up here, or this kind of area here, or this kind of area here, or this kind of area here. Gomez, I want to see his heat map for the season. He is everywhere. But one thing I was a little bit worried about, this is a semi-final, this is a Liverpool team under Klopp's ethos. The fact that he hasn't scored a goal in 8 years might be getting to him, because he had some dodgy pot shots at Burnley. It'll come. But I think the backline deserves a 7. Now, the reason I did the backline first is because let's just mention that they were decent, didn't keep a clean sheet, overall solid, didn't have too much to deal with because we dominated possession. But Kelleher, so this is a slightly mixed performance. Now, you've got to judge him as a goalkeeper on merit as a Liverpool player. He's not Alisson Becker. He won't be dominant in the air, and his saves won't look as clean because Alisson's positioning always makes difficult saves look easy. But Kelleher did make the difficult saves, whereas Leno palmed one in on the right-hand side. Kelleher cleared his lines on the right hand side, and all you're taught as a young goalkeeper or any goalkeeper is to palm the ball away from danger, and he did that, and he made several profile saves, so decent performance overall. He did get beaten in the air. His judgment call to come out. If you come out, you've got to clear your lines or do something with the ball, obviously not give away a penalty, but no, scuffed that one. Andres Pereira hit the post from that one, so we could have been punished because of the error. He's not dominant in the air, but he's well rounded. His distribution is decent as well. He's decent with his feet, and I think the players trust him well enough. They're not like a nervous wreck with a Charles Etange or someone behind the lines. So fair to Kelleher. Let's give him a 7 as well. So 7 all around the board, I think is fair enough. Nothing hugely outstanding, but quality enough. Now McAllister, once again, he ran the show. 8. He was passing through the lines. He was the one to relieve the pressure. He's very good at getting his body in the way as well. Big up to McAllister. He's stepping up in the absence of our other midfielders because he is our 6. Him and Endo covering that 6th position with Thiago yet to come back and Bajcetic as well. It'll be very interesting when we have a full squad who does start in the 6th position. I have a feeling that McAllister will actually play his fair share of games in 6th position as well, because he offers something different. It could even be a double pivot with him and Endo, because Endo and McAllister can actually roam into that 6th position as well as the 8th position on a double pivot, on a single pivot, and transition in offensive transition. So they are very well versed. Hello, that must be police. McAllister playing too well, you're under arrest. No, McAllister goes in there on merit in 8. They pressured him. They put 2 10s in and around him as well, but no, he played out of danger and was our little commander at the base of midfield. Now, Gravenberch, huffed and puffed, showed glimpses of potential. Very nice spins. We know he's got that spin as well. It's just the cases where those slightly loose passes or on instinct, he's not really progressing the ball as well as he was early in the season when opposition was starting to figure him out and don't know what he's capable of, etc. But now that they've seen the clips and they've seen kind of setup, they know the kind of movements he gets involved with, I'd like to just see him impose himself a little bit more. I think this kind of player needs to stand out from the pack as an imposing figure, really get your foot on the ball and do something with it. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Marko Grujic. Now, Marko Grujic is a tall player, but he's not dominant in the air. He's not a physical beast like Fellaini. He was more of a little playmaker, kind of not the fastest, but good feet, good passing range, little playmaking ability. Gravenberch, I think, needs to make things happen with his skill set and his talent and his technique. As being a tall guy, you wouldn't picture his style of play as that tall imposing figure, but those gangly legs allow him to do stuff with the ball that can come off at times. I think he needs to win the ball back quicker and get back into shape and press with more aggression, because he looks calm and composed, but I'd like to see him anger. I like to see angry Gravenberch. So in that regard, he did okay. Could have given him a 6, but to be fair to him, he tried in his effort and showed glimpses. So let's give him a 7. Let's be generous to him slightly in this game. Could be 6.5. In fact, let's go with a 6.5. I think that about sums it up. With Elliott, booed on every touch. Why? He was a youth player at Fulham who we paid high compensation. I think one of the highest records of compensation for Harvey Elliott. Everyone saw his ability from a young age. He's a Liverpool fan through and through. He's matured a lot ever since he cussed Harry Kane a bit. I don't think he's been in any bad spotlight since then. He huffed, he puffed off the ball, he tries his best, he presses well, wasn't particularly effective. I think he also, similar to Gravenberch, being youngsters as well, needs to impose himself more in the game, because when you see his direct runs in from the right hand side into this area, taking a shot against Palace, driving through the lines, it's what Jones made that step in between a tidy, clean player that you can put in, technically proficient, can receive the ball, pressing well, into someone who has key moments in games that can get you into game-winning scenarios. Now, Elliott is very capable of that, but I don't know whether it's the fact that Quansah and Bradley on this hand side and a very unusual Gakpo on the right hand side. This is not how I would have expected Klopp to line up, but it seemed to be the initial ploy. Elliott struggled to really find his place in this particular game, but he did try. He never let his head down. He always gave himself an option as an option to the teammates, and in that regard, you can't complain his endeavour for work. So best endeavours, best regards. I think 6 is fair for Elliott. We were through. This is a cup semi-final game, all to play for, all to win. You need experience in these moments because getting to the final is all that counts. And we knew that Fulham needed to win by 2 clear goals because there's no away goals in the Carabao Cup. There's no VAR in the Carabao Cup, though, different discussion. But professional job, midfield held their own. We dominated possession, didn't create too many clear-cut chances through this triumphant midfield here, and defensively solid, but we did have one slip up as well. So overall, there is our basis. Now let's start with Luis Diaz. Let's get on a positive note. So he was absolutely on fire because his movement, his determination, winning the ball in the air, light touches to cut inside, driving straight closest route to goal, touch, hit, deflection. Leno should have saved it, but we opened the scoring and straight away Fulham were under the cosh. Did you see Marco Silva's face? And this was right after João Palhinha found space in our box and volleyed it over. Now João Palhinha is actually good at passing between the lines as well, and he's pretty decisive when passing, but I don't think he's a goal getter. He's not a goal scorer. I don't think João Palhinha has the goal instincts and technique in him to shoot as well as a Wataru Endo, but Wataru Endo actually needs to do that for the national team because driving from midfield, playmaking and shooting from distance, he is multifaceted in that Japan role. He needs to be as well, and in the Stuttgart role as well. Less so in the Liverpool role because we have so much firepower, but he has the attributes in him because the team needed that from him, and he knew he needed to develop those to contribute, to Stuttgart's relegation saving goal, and obviously Liverpool's saving goal against Fulham, the 3-3 smashed into the top bins as well. So I think in that regard, João Palhinha, you can't be too harsh on him because he's a great destroyer and he can progress the ball with passes as well. But Lucho Diaz was an absolute menace. So tracking back, chasing, dribbling, taking a man on, going very, very direct. In the air, he's underestimated. Cutting inside, we know what he can do as well. Faded slightly towards the end, but he never gave up. Full of energy, full of enthusiasm. And if Darwin Núñez is chaos theory, then Luis Diaz is sub-chaos theory, because he causes hassle and mayhem and panic as well. You always know he's going to go at you and give it his all as well. I hesitate to say when Luis Diaz is ineffectual that he's completely out of the game, because he always huffs and puffs and gives it his all and contributes defensively, and you find him in and around our midfield in the playmaking area and taking the ball off the backline as well. He really is an asset. I love it when talent pairs with hard work, because then luck is created. Luck is in love with hard work, Benito's phrase. Okay, so in that regard, great performance, great goal. We needed that. 8. Now, Gakpo was wasted on the right hand side. He really didn't impose himself. He didn't get into clear scoring opportunities. He's a little bit lightweight in this particular game. I think he's trying too hard to keep up his goal scoring run in this particular cup, copying Taki Minamino. Gakpo is an effective player. He can shoot off both feet. He can drive the ball from deep, but I think because he started high, it was harder for him to get in the game because the passing lanes to him were closed, and when he did receive the pass, the options just weren't there. He is actually, in my opinion, more effective coming on the tip of the diamond from a kind of starting 9 position. It's not a false 9 like Firmino, but starting 9 shadow striker in and behind the 2 wide forward to roam in. I think he's more effective in these central positions or in the pockets than out wide and high, just because, especially on the right hand side, he can't cut in and shoot across goal. He has to play almost like a traditional winger because he hasn't got the biggest dribbling skill set in terms of moving the ball to one side and doing something with it. He hasn't got an amazing cross from the right hand side, which is surprising considering on the left hand side in Holland he can cut inside and deliver on a sixpence. I saw that in the highlights as well. So unfortunately for him, he didn't really impose himself on the game, but once again off the ball he pressed. He, along with Núñez and Lucho Diaz, pressed like mayhem, and in that regard let's just give him a 6. It was fair performance without major impact. Now Núñez always creates openings for the team. He is chaos theory. I will make a video on that. Núñez, his existence on the pitch causes the opposition to think twice about how do you want to play him. Now, the opposition should be able to play him in a standardized way just because the manager can tell you what you're looking to do as a team, to press him, to play the offside trap, to bait him into a trap, to move him in the direction of the corner. But the issue with doing that against Darwin Núñez is his first touch is so volatile in regards to whether it'll spin off you, it'll shin it slightly, it'll go in front, it'll go to the side, that his decision is made based on where the ball ends up on his first touch, and that's not a bad thing. I really benefited from that ability because I did say it again, if you don't know what you're going to do with the ball or what the ball's going to do, then neither the opposition, and it's about who can react quicker. And Darwin Núñez is sharp and he's hungry, he's almost childlike in his play. The ball's going here, I chase the ball. The ball going there, I chase the ball. The ball goes over here, I smash it with the left. The ball goes over there, I smash it with the right. There's a player there, let's lay it off to him. There's a space there, I'm going to run there. I don't feel like running there, I'm going to drop back. He just decides on a whim what to do, and I love it. It's so fun to see because he has the attributes, the hunger, and the skill set. Don't underestimate. He's got a step over. He's got a little shuffle turn. He's got a tiki-taka 1-2. He actually has a really varied repertoire of little skills and tricks that he pulls out on the occasion. Sometimes by plan, sometimes enforced upon him, but it just works. And he huffs and he puffs and he's in your face. And he had shots, almost headed an assist for Gakpo, just missed the margin slightly. He always creates opportunities, and that's all you want to do. All you want is a striker who will give you the opportunity for glory. Whether you take it or not, that's on the player, on the team, on the day, on the luck, a divot on the floor, a balloon coming out of nowhere. No, I don't like that balloon. That's bad memories. But Nunes creates opportunities just for his existence. So for that, I'll give him a 7 because he didn't score in the end. But good performance overall. Now, it's really interesting to see this kind of midfield here because what you'd expect is Gravenberch and Elliott really work well and operate in that kind of system as well. Lucho Diaz cutting inside here, but naturally we don't have anyone on the overlap on the left hand side because Gomez doesn't really want to whip it in first time. He'll cut inside as well, but you don't need to cut inside because Lucho Diaz is here and Gravenberch won't go around the outside as well. So predominantly Nunes is the one who goes outside from this area, allowing Luis Diaz to operate in the false 10 position. And this is all well and good if Salah's here. This kind of false 10 is not a true 10 because you don't start in the 10 position. It's transitioning on the press into the pocket where you find a space to pick it up, and it's facilitated by these guys operating in the wide channels, giving you the roaming space for McAllister to play it through for you to pick up and get into the central position. But I feel like I'm questioning Klopp slightly here, and who am I to question Klopp? But we've shown that Lucho Diaz has been a very effective right winger as well, just because of all his attributes and what he can do, which is why I'm very surprised that we didn't start with this shape here. This, to me, would have made a lot more sense, especially because I know Nunes tracks back as well and Lucho Diaz tracks back. But as an outlet, Bradley will always have that ball to Lucho Diaz, and he'll be one-on-one against the fullback, or at least, hold on to the ball and do something with it. With Gakpo out here, it's more limited options because Gakpo isn't going to beat a player down the line, and cutting inside comes onto his left foot, and he's not as well versed a dribbler as Lucho Diaz. So very interesting variations there. Jones came on, he's fairly tidy as well. Bobby Clark came on, trusted to see the game out. Overall, I think that the most important thing was getting to the final, because now anything can happen in the final. But against Chelsea, we really want to show them that they made the biggest mistake of the windows so far in terms of the Caicedo and Lavia deals. Obviously, they're getting some kind of rhythm, some kind of form. They're playing together regularly. Enzo Fernandez has kind of dropped off a mountain because he was highly regarded. His opening day match against Liverpool was very promising as well. He kind of ran the show, but you just don't know what's going on with that Chelsea team at the moment. I think they're going to get some key players back for the final as well. You're talking about Nkunku and the full repertoire of the Chelsea team as well, probably Reece James as well. But at the same time, Liverpool squad, first team squad and second team 11 and manager, I think are cup caliber winning candidates, and we will probably see it at home. But I'll do a match preview when we get there, and let's see what personnel we have at the time. I think it's in a month's time in February that the final kicks off. I don't know whether VAR's involved or not, but very promising. Fulham really gave it a go. They really gave it a go. It's a cup final. They're a bit nervous, a bit anxious, as Marco Silva said, but they played with passion, they played with hearts and sleeves, and the fans backed them all the way, and you've got to be appreciative of that, because as a general football fan, it's fantastic to see. But Liverpool just had that edge in quality, and we had more gears to go, and if we needed that extra goal, we could have got it. If Fulham scored another one, it's still equal on aggregate. So overall, good performance. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I love doing tactical analysis. We're going to do a preview of the Norwich FA Cup match coming very soon. Like as well, helps the video beat the algorithm. Every like, I think, just sends the video out to more people's homepage and feeds and streams. So you're really helping the channel to grow. I appreciate it so much. All the interaction is absolutely fantastic. I love the banter. I love the chat as well. I love replying. And yeah, once again, arigatou gozaimasu. Domo, ja ne, Miyazaki-man, ichiban.